Hey, what's up guys? John here. What I think is going to happen, what I've said is going to happen is slowly happening. It's pretty crazy to me just how quick things are changing. And what I mean by this is I think that real estate is going to get crushed. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a sad situation because I love real estate, I love investing. And one of the main reasons I love real estate and investing is the main foundation and building block of freedom, of having the ability to call your own shots, not relying on a boss, being able to build out your own wealth, being able to pass down wealth to your children, doing something that for me was meaningful. But now, ever since the last couple of years, I'm like, you know what? This whole thing is sketchy. And what's happening right now is, let's just call it not real capitalism. We're starting to see things where we're like, you know what? Is this really going to be a good game to be in, or should I pivot my strategy? And that's exactly what I've done. I've even talked about this on a former YouTube video. I'm like, you know what? I will not buy a real estate deal right now. I don't care if it's 30% off or 35% off. I won't touch it. And the reason I won't touch it is because you can't win a game if you don't know the rules to the game. And the rules to the game are being rewritten right now, and no one knows what's going to happen next. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next because it's crazy. All you have to do is connect the dots. I mean, because of what is going to happen next, I'm taking my family on a trip. Leaving next week, I'm taking one of my best friends as well. And we're going to go to Italy and Spain and probably Switzerland. We're going to travel around and enjoy life while we can because it's probably going to get a hell of a lot harder and we might not have the ability to go, right? So I'm going to take the squad and we're going to go have some fun. Probably go to my, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, right? While we can, because we're not going to be able to go very soon. Look at this. July 8th, right? And notice the dates. They are all within like a 72-hour window, all of them, right? And all over the world. So is LA County's indoor mandate, right, going to come back? At this rate, it might. Not it might, it will, right? It will. This one right here, the 11th, today, right? They're mulling it. Should we do it? Mulling, reinstating it. Okay. Right? LA Times, what California renters can do now with eviction moratoriums expired. What the renters can do? Look at the landlords. Like, what about the landlords? The landlords are hardworking, tax-paying citizens, and they're doing their best, right? These landlords are doing their best. 77% of all landlords are mom and pop, meaning they own a couple buildings or one building. A lot of these people are working so hard, and no one really cares about them, right? They're all kind of pushed into some package as being this greedy, capitalistic, problem in society. When in reality, they're not that way at all. Right? The real winner of this situation, in the event that these landlords go belly up, the corporation is going to swoop in and buy up these properties. If people think that the current landlords are bad, they have no idea what's coming when they have a BlackRock and a Blackstone owning up all the properties. So now, what I think is going to happen here is I think that these eviction moratoriums are going to be coming back and coming back in a huge, huge way. And the reason being is, let's take a look at what's happening. LA County has 700,000 tenants behind on rent. With that being said, before I even dive into this, today's video is sponsored by thesolutionevent.com. Thesolutionevent.com, they believe that community shelter and food is going to be most important going forward. If you're interested in that, they're having a free event. Go to thesolutionevent.com coming up very, very soon. So there's 700,000 tenants that are behind on rent in just LA County alone. 700,000 tenants, right? This started March of 2020. So if you look at March of 2020 till June of 2023, when the current eviction moratorium expires, it's about 39 months. Call it 40 for easy math. Let's say that the tenant pays $2,000 a month, which is probably below the norm in LA. And the reason I say that is the national average rent is $2,002 in LA, California. It's expensive. It's more expensive, right? We'll just call it $2,000 for easy math. 39 months, $2,000 a month. You're talking, give or take about $78,000, right? Exactly $78,000. And so you look at that $78,000, that just gets you to June of 2023 if they stop paying. But there's 700,000 tenants behind on rent. You think you're going to see a judge in July? No, it's probably going to take another 18 months. So one landlord could lose $100,000, $120,000, $140,000 per tenant, not including any legal fees. This is going to be a problem. And so when they're talking about all these situations, this may return, everything else is going to return with it. All of these restrictions are going to return with it. And all of this, New York, right? New York, cities could begin to bring it back, right? All these locations, British Columbia, it's all over the world. Even Even Australia, right? They're talking about potentially bringing these sick leave payments back. All of this comes together. It's very easy to understand. That's why I said I wasn't going to buy real estate at 30 or 35% off, because I knew that the pain isn't over. Buying real estate at 30 or 35% off would be like buying real estate in 2019 or 2020, right? 2019, 2020, that was when even interest rates were higher, sure, but you had a different level of freedom over your property. You had a different level of control over your investment. And things were much more stable and secure than they are today. And so am I saying that real estate's a horrible investment? No, but I am saying that I think it's better and I think it's more intelligent to hold back, to wait, to see what happens next and how this plays out. Because you could have a situation in which you're like, okay, I'm gonna just hold back, I'm gonna wait. And then some huge news comes out, maybe the new moratorium, they push it out until sometime late next year, which is not far-fetched. Granted, we are in July and they're saying that this is a problem. Imagine September or October or November or December. All of this is likely only going to get progressively worse. And if in fact that does happen, what are they going to do? They're going to issue more stimulus, they're going to issue more money, and then ultimately more inflation, and they're going to bring out all of these new types of mechanisms in which they can help people, all of which will likely not be good for property owners. So I think it's going to be better that people just kind of pull back, pay attention, watch the writing on the wall, really become clear, and then make smart financial decisions when it comes to real estate investing after the fact. But I do believe that we're going to start to see some really, really big things come very soon. And I think smart and savvy investors are aware, this is one of the main building blocks of a smart and savvy investor is being forward thinking and being able to see what happens next. That is what makes a great investor versus everybody else. Everybody else thinks that, everything's going to be fine. It's always just going to be like this, and everything is going to be good. In a bull market, it's always going to be a bull market. In a bear market, it's always going to be a bear market. But in reality, we see the trends. You forecast what the trends look like. To me, the trends look like we're going to be stepping into quantitative easing. They're going to be printing more money, more stimulus checks. More of these mandates are going to be coming back. More eviction moratoriums are going to be coming back. All these things are going to be coming back. And so if you have cash, this is probably the moment in which you learn about real estate, you understand where you want to invest, you come up with a plan and a strategy, and you could potentially even you could start looking for landlords that are currently in distress, or maybe they have, defaulted slightly on their property taxes and then made themselves current, or maybe they are, in eviction filings in a courthouse local. You can build out a list, and you could track all of these property owners and figure out who was going to be most desperate when they start issuing these eviction moratoriums. And then you could simply just prospect that list and say, you know what, I know you got 4 units here, 8 units or 10 units here, and 2 of your tenants aren't paying. I'm willing to, adopt that problem for X amount. And we don't need to use a realtor. I can write up the offer. I can have my attorney write it up. I'll pay for the cost. And you could do this and start trying to find deals for, significantly under market value, and you can offer a quick closing. You can get pre-approved for a loan right now and start building out your whole strategy based around the fear that is likely going to set into this market, into this economy. But if you are going to buy a multifamily property, you're going to buy a rental property, be sure that you're taking significant deposits up front. Be sure that you have a plan and a strategy. For me, if I was buying a property in Los Angeles, I would want like a title to people's car. Okay, yeah, I'm going to rent this, but I'm going to give you a really great deal on it. All the neighbors are charging $2,500. I'm going to give it to you for $1,950, but you pay me 6 months up front or 9 months up front. I'll give it to you for this, but you give me the pink slip to your car and you give me X, Y, and Z, and then I'm going to give you this discount. Like I would just try to work out amazing deals where tenants feel like they're getting a steal and they're going to really take care of the property. They're not going to want to leave and they're going to want to pay. Because what you don't want to do is have your rents at market value, and then this moratorium comes back and they're like, okay, well, you don't have to pay your landlord. Then you have these tenants asking themselves, food prices are up 20%, 30%. Gas is up, 100% from where it was 2 years ago. Car insurance is up, 25, 30%. Everything is up, and now I have an out here with this landlord. And, the city will probably take care of them, or, if not, it doesn't really matter. I'll move out in 6 months or a year when the moratorium's over. You don't want people thinking that. You want people to say, you know what? This guy or this girl is giving me a really great deal. It's a great person. They're really trying to do well. They're giving me a fair price, and I want to work with them because I'm going to have a stable place to live with no rent increases. And you start building out relationships like that. This is the time. This is the time to start studying these trends because it's not going to just be multifamily real estate. We're going to see the same thing happen with retail. Retail real estate is going to get crushed if we start to step back into this period where these small businesses are not essential, right? And so if this happens, you're going to see a lot of retail landlords walk away. Office buildings, you're going to see a lot of office buildings, same problems. All of these things are going to start to come back, I believe, in the next couple of months. Hence, while I'm going to start traveling and I'm going to, have some fun and do what I can, make as much money as I can, and hustle and grind, and enjoy life while we can, because I do think things are going to get much harder. What do you think about this entire situation? Speaking of getting harder, the Solution Event, they believe things are going to get really, really bad. They think food shortages are going to be coming. They believe that community is going to be most important and being in the right area. TheSolutionEvent.com, they're having an event coming very, very soon. The link is pinned at the top comment below this video, TheSolutionEvent.com. Subscribe. You're also subscribed to my second channel. It's going to be an interactive call-in show this upcoming week, and that's pinned down below as well. And LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok up in the banner. Drop your comments below. Do you think we're stepping into problems? Really curious as to what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. If you're interested in being sponsored on my YouTube channel, visit cashnow.video/sponsor and fill out the application.